I got a caller on the doctor in the elevator shaft. That's interesting. Well, someone's calling. Maybe a gay activist have finally come to understand who their actual friend is. Ron in San Francisco, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Yeah, I'm not gay. I just want you to know that, and it has nothing to do with being gay.
I'm sorry to hear it.
And he was
I'm sorry to hear it. No, okay, so what is it about?
I'm telling you that he was murdered. I felt he was murdered. I belong to the...
So you agree with my suspicions?
Well, I had the same suspicions. Yeah, of course. I think...
What do you mean, yeah? What do you mean, yeah, of course? The whole major media says he wasn't murdered.
Yeah,
your friends in the news media don't think he was murdered. They've already said he fell.
Yeah, he didn't fall. He was murdered. He was thrown down.
You know him, Ron, you know him well?
I know him very well. And it has nothing to do with him being gay. So don't...
Wait, you're saying he was not... Wait, let's start again. You're saying you agree that he was murdered, but he was not murdered because he was gay.
No, I don't think he was murdered because he was gay. He was Jewish, and I think that Arabs probably murdered him.
So you think he was lured to the class and the assassins were waiting for him?
I couldn't say what happened, but he was in the building. I'm assuming from what I hear from the media. I hadn't seen him in a week, but we find out a week later that he was laying in the elevator shaft and he was murdered. And
that's what the minute I read it, I said murder immediately, homicide immediately. And there's too many questions around this case. For a fit man to have taken such a jump like that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and it's obvious that he was thrown down there, and somebody of his intelligence would have never happened to such an intelligent man.
That's right. He was a conscious, intelligent man. So you think that whoever did it simply because he was an outspoken supporter of Israel?
I think definitely that's the case.
And if you were in charge of the investigation, where would you begin?
Well, I would start with everybody. I would look for witnesses. Number one, if there were no witnesses, I would find out what was on his cell phone, if he made any calls on his cell phone, if they could find the cell phone. The police should be doing their job, which they're probably not. And
well, did you hear Inspector Krimsky on my show?
Heard him on your show. I'm not convinced.
And wait a minute, weren't you impressed that he agreed to come on the show, at least to show his face?
Well, we'll see. I'm not necessarily impressed with him, but the fact is that he did make an effort to kind of settle things. But
okay, I accept that. That doesn't mean it's over. But the question that begs answering is, the class was canceled. What was Krimsky do? What was the doctor doing there if the class was canceled? That's
something that I couldn't personally answer because I have no idea. I wasn't in touch with him that week. We would see him every week. He would come down there, and he was a decent person. He was dedicated. He was doing...
Wait, when you said he would come down, were you a member of the class?
No, not of the class. I had nothing to do with the class.
Okay, so you know him from another place. Fair enough. Was he a physical man? They say that Dr. Klemer was very loud in the protests against Palestinians. Was he physical with them?
No, but he had gotten beaten up on two separate occasions. Neither one that I witnessed, but I was told by other members prior to my joining the group.
Oh, he had been beaten up by the peace lovers on the other side of the street. Where were the police while he got beaten up?
They came and investigated. They didn't do anything. I mean, this is in Berkeley and in Oakland, and what you have in Berkeley, of course, you're aware of.
Yes. Well, I think that with the pressure that this show is going to bring upon it, Ron, that your friend will get the best investigation possible in these very, very sick times.
Well, I hope
so. And these over-politicized times. And I'm doing it not because I know the man. I don't know the man. I never met the man. But I suspect homicide, and I'd like to see the perpetrator caught and prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
The thing is, don't make an issue out of his gayness because he was a decent person. I'm a straight person, and I'm saying this as a good friend of him. He was a decent...
Well, I'm not making an issue of it, but don't you think it's odd that the fact that he was gay, that no gay people are protesting and demanding a further investigation?
Yeah, I find that ironic.
Is that because of his support for Israel?
Probably so.
So in other words, although he was gay, his support for Israel lost favor with the communists who run the gay movement.
I don't know who runs the gay movement, but I do agree that the gays haven't been too supportive of Israel, and that bothers.
All right, let's leave it at that. Let's take the gay out of it, and let's go to the death, and let's ask ourselves, why would this man have walked into an open elevator shaft? That doesn't make sense to anybody.
No, I don't think that's possible. He was probably thrown into the open, into the...
Terrible, terrible. What a terrible way to die. Terrible. I grieve for him, Ron, and I'm glad that we can offer the public airwaves for to encourage the police to not let this go until they find the person who did it.
Well, we as a group are not going to let this thing die. We're going to make sure that there is some justice. And
well, Ron, has anyone else in the media other than Michael Savage made an issue of this and called it a homicide?
Not as of yet, but hopefully they might. I don't have much confidence in the media. I don't respect the media.
Well, they're supposed to. Aren't they supposed to do this, what I'm doing? That's their job.
That is their job.
Well,
But,
when I saw it last night, again, I couldn't sleep. In light of the Bombay massacre, in light of what happened in Bombay, I couldn't sleep again last night at the thought of somebody grabbing this guy and throwing him down an elevator shaft and then saying he fell. That's the part that got to me.
Could have happened to any one of us. It could have happened to you, and it could have happened to me or anybody that these people felt was a threat. And so...
Well, let me remind the listeners that this isn't the first time that Jews began dying mysteriously in a great Western nation. It happened to have happened in the 1930s, too, when outspoken members of the Jewish community were silently killed by the Gestapo right here in America. You know that as well.
Exactly. I know the history. I'm Jewish myself, and I'm well versed.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we are. Here we are, Ron. Thanks for calling the show.